called me while he was away on his so-called golf trip, and the sound of his laughter still echoes in my ears. His voice carried no guilt, no hesitation, just pure arrogance. He told me he had moved my inheritance into his own name. Then, as if the betrayal wasn't enough, he boasted about starting a new life with someone younger, someone who he claimed actually appreciated him. And he laughed. He laughed at me, at my supposed stupidity, at the years I had given him. That sound burned through me like fire, and in that moment, I felt the world tilt. For a second, my hands shook and my heart pounded so hard I thought it would break through my chest. I wanted to scream, to cry, to let the hurt swallow me whole. But instead, something inside me hardened. I took a deep breath, steadied my voice, and simply said, I know. You deserve it. He had no idea what I really meant. He thought I was defeated, that I had accepted my role as the weak, discarded wife. He didn't realize I had been preparing for this moment long before he opened his smug mouth. You see, my husband believed he was clever, but he underestimated me every step of the way. For years, he made me feel small, like I couldn't possibly understand the financial side of our marriage, like I wasn't capable of handling money or contracts. He thought I lived in his shadow. What he didn't know was that I had been quietly keeping records, learning, preparing for the day his arrogance would finally cross the line. When he bragged about taking my inheritance, he didn't realize that money had been locked down with protections he never even noticed. He thought transferring it to his name gave him control, but the joke was on him. I had spoken with my lawyer months earlier after noticing his unusual spending habits and late-night secrecy. Everything he believed he owned was never really his. He was holding empty air, and soon he was going to find out. That night, after his smug phone call, I didn't cry. I poured myself a glass of wine, pulled out the documents I had kept tucked away, and smiled. For the first time in years, I felt powerful. The fear was gone, the doubt was gone, all that remained was a steady calm, a kind of silence before the storm. A few days later, he returned from his trip, expecting to find me broken, maybe even begging for scraps of affection. Instead, he walked into a house stripped of warmth. My bags were already packed, the lawyer's letter waiting for him on the kitchen table. His name wasn't on the deeds. His name wasn't on the accounts. And when he reached out to his bank, that's when it hit him. His face drained of color, his voice cracked, and his eyes turned bloodshot with panic. The empire of lies he had built for himself crumbled in seconds. He tried calling me, his tone switching from mockery to rage to desperation. You can't do this to me, he shouted, as though he still had the power to command me. But each time, I hung up with the same calm words, you already did this to yourself. He had taken everything for granted, my trust, my love, my loyalty, and in return, he was left with nothing but the bitter taste of his own greed. The beauty of it all was how simple justice turned out to be. I didn't need to scream, didn't need to fight. All I had to do was let him fall into the trap he set for himself. His arrogance was his undoing. And as the reality sank in, as he realized that the younger woman he left me for wasn't interested in a man without wealth or power, I felt no guilt. Only peace. Revenge doesn't always come in fire and fury. Sometimes it comes in silence, in patience, in letting someone believe they've won until the rug is pulled out from under them. Watching him unravel was more satisfying than any outburst could have ever been. He thought, he had broken me, but he only freed me. Life has a way of balancing itself. Karma doesn't always need a push, but when it does, it's best delivered with precision. And when you hear the laughter of someone who betrayed you, the sweetest sound in the world is the silence that follows when they realize they've destroyed themselves. If you've ever been underestimated, if you've ever been betrayed, remember this, strength isn't about shouting the loudest or striking the hardest. Sometimes it's about waiting, preparing, and letting the truth do the work for you. And if this story gave you chills, don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more deeply satisfying revenge stories. Because sometimes, justice really does come served ice cold.